Okay. Hi. So for my interdisciplinary project, I explored the course question, what makes something persuasive and what makes something propaganda? I chose to present this idea through a visual collage because I felt like images would communicate my argument more effectively than a traditional paper. And so I created a collage in Canva using historical propaganda posters and visuals from De Fuhrer's face, modern advertisements, and imagery connected to outside sources that I researched. Starting from the left side, this section represents what we traditionally recognize as propaganda. I included wartime posters like Uncle Sam's recruitment poster, and then war bonds ads, and then imagery connected to World War II. These images heavily rely on fear, patriotism, exaggeration, and emotional appeal to influence public opinion. And so as we move towards the center of the collage, the images begin to overlap and blur together. And I manually blurred this section because it represents the main question behind my project, which is where does propaganda end and where does persuasion begin? I intentionally avoided creating a sharp line because my argument is that there's no complete definite separation between them. So as we move towards the right side, I included modern advertisements from brands Nike, Apple, and then Jeep and Dove, and also anti-smoking campaigns from sources that I found on the database. And these are usually seen as persuasive rather than propaganda, but they are often used to make or they're often use very similar techniques. Nike uses empowerment, Apple creates emotional connection through branding, and anti-smoking ads use fear to appeal to influence behavior. The outside sources that I used helped me connect these ideas. One article focused on Nike campaigns and how brands attach themselves to social movements. Another discussed fear-based anti-smoking ads, which influenced the health campaign imagery I included. I also included a source about the Cold War, introduced the idea that propaganda became more effective when it presents itself as an object or trustworthy. Overall, my main argument is that persuasion and propaganda are not separated by the techniques they use because they both rely on emotional appeal, symbolism, selective messaging, and instead the distinction depends more on the intent and kind of the transparency and how much space the audience is given to think critically.